Hmm? Can anyone? Can anyone? Anyone? Anshuman? Anshuman?
sir.
What is the shape of the
A
graph between
parabola.
Yes, sir.
parabolic graph? For line charge E is equal to 1 by 2 pi epsilon 0 lambda by r. So E is inversely proportional to R, 1 by 2 pi epsilon 0 lambda constant. The graph is like this. E is floating along y axis, R is floating. It's a rectangular hyperbola. Yeah, this was a 1 mark question in the board examination. Okay, this is a board examination, CBSE 1 mark question. Okay, today we are going for second application, application number 2. Okay, application number 2. Of course, this year for this year it is deleted, but it is useful for the next chapter. Electric field due to a uniformly charged spherical shell. Uniformly charged spherical shell. Very important one. Uniformly charged spherical shell. So you are given, it's an example of surface charge density, surface charge distribution. You have a sphere, you have a spherical shell of radius r with center at O, and it is uniformly charged to have surface charge density sigma coulomb per meter square, and total charge given is q. The total charge q is uniformly distributed over its surface. It is a spherical shell, thin spherical shell. Uniformly charged, you can write it as a thin spherical shell. Surface charge density is sigma, total charge on its surface is q. So how to find out q? Q is the surface charge density, that is charge per unit area. Okay, surface charge density sigma is, we write it as sigma is equal to charge per unit area, and area is here 4 pi capital R square. This is the important point, coulomb per meter square. We have seen this point earlier. So this is the surface charge density of the spherical shell. So we have to find out electric field due to this spherical shell at any point. At any point, that is P, that can be outside anywhere at a distance small r. So we have to find out electric field at a point at a distance small r. So okay, the small r can be greater than capital R. Capital R is the radius of spherical shell. So point P will be outside. Small r can be equal to capital R, then P will be on surface. And the small r can be less than capital R, then point P will be inside the surface. Okay, so there are 3 cases here. We have to find out electric field at a point at a distance r. So if r is greater than capital R, the point P will be outside. And if it is equal to r, then it will be on surface. If it is less than r, it will be inside. So there are 3 cases. So we have to take case 1 when the point P is outside the spherical shell. How to find out electric field by using Gauss's theorem. So we can see here on the top, here the diagram. So case 1 we are taking, that is case 1 when point P is outside, that is the case 1. Case 1, small r is greater than capital R, P is outside as shown in the diagram. So first point is to find out electric field at the point P outside, you have to construct a Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface is to be constructed. Point number 1. You have to construct a Gaussian surface. What is the Gaussian surface? It will be a concentric spherical shell of radius small r. So we are constructing a concentric spherical shell of radius small r. So here it is a Gaussian surface. What is the Gaussian surface? It is a concentric spherical shell. Okay, it's a concentric spherical shell of radius small r, same center. Now we have to find out the flux through this. Okay, at any point you take electric positive charge, so electric field will be radially out, E vector. On the surface anywhere electric field is radially out. So next point, after considering Gaussian surface, we want to find out the flux through the Gaussian surface. Flux through the Gaussian surface can be calculated by closed integral d dot ds. We have only one surface, spherical surface. So E dot ds, to recognize E dot ds, E vector at the point P, which is on the surface of the Gaussian surface here, electric field is radially outside, and we want to find out area vector. So just around the point P, you can construct a small area. Small area is constructed ds, and draw outward drawn normal, that is a ds vector. So you can see that E vector and ds vector are parallel on this Gaussian surface. This surface constructed, we call it as Gaussian surface. So closed integral E dot ds, but E vector is parallel to ds vector on this Gaussian surface. So we write this as phi equal to closed integral E ds, cos 0 becomes 1, theta equal to 0 degree. E will be a constant at any point, all points on the surface are equidistant, can be taken outside. E closed integral ds. So what is the closed integral ds here? Total surface area of the Gaussian surface. Anyone? What is closed integral ds here? What is closed integral ds?
4 pi r square.
4 pi small r square. So phi is equal to E into 4 pi small r square. This is the total flux through this Gaussian surface, which is outside. So by flux can you calculate phi is equal to closing E dot ds. Next we use Gauss's theorem. Point number 3. By Gauss's theorem, flux can also be calculated by 1 by epsilon 0 into total charge inside the Gaussian surface. What is the total charge inside the Gaussian surface here? Here we are written as Q itself. If you take it a total charge Q, you take Q as Q inside, but Q inside is here taken as Q itself. We are not calculating just now in terms of sigma. So therefore phi is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 into Q. Okay. So this is your equation number 2. So you have to complete now your equation from equation 1 and 2, we have to equate the value. So from equation 1 and 2, equating RHS can be equated. So when you are equating from equation 1 and 2 from equation 1 and 2, E 4 pi r square, E into 4 pi r square, that is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 into Q. So we want to find out electric fields. E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by r square. So this is the expression for electric field outside in terms of charge, total charge Q. Q is the total charge on the spherical shell which is inside. So speciality of this equation is that it has a special meaning. This electric field resembles the electric field due to a point charge. Means if you have a point charge plus Q at a point O, and if you have a point P which is at a distance r from the point charge, electric field at the point P is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by r square. This is the equation for electric field at any point due to point charge. So here the point P is at a distance r from the point charge. Distance is measured from the point and the charge. Look at this equation. Electric field outside we have obtained as 1 by 4 epsilon Q by r square, exactly same. But here small r is the distance from the center to the point, but there is no charge at the center. The charge Q is arranged uniformly over the surface of spherical shell. But the equation is as if, that is the next bond conclusion, this equation is as if the entire charge Q is supposed to be concentrated at the center of the spherical shell. So for any kind of calculation, potential, etc., in the next chapter also we have to consider this way. That means the charge is uniformly distributed over the surface, but the effect is as if the entire charge is concentrated at the center of the spherical shell. So that is the very important information what we are getting from this equation. So E outside proportional to, we can write it as E outside proportional to 1 by r square, inverse square function. I am going to represent this equation in terms of sigma. So here we are going to replace Q. Instead of Q, I am going to write in terms of sigma. Sigma is given to you. So next point, writing this equation in terms of sigma. So outside electric field is as if the entire charge is concentrated at the center of the spherical shell. That point you have to remember. So writing this equation, electric field outside is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Instead of q, we write in terms sigma, because sigma is equal to q divided by 4 pi capital R square. So the value of q is equal to sigma into 4 pi R square. Most probably sigma will be given. Substituting this value here, instead of q, we can write sigma into surface area of the spherical shell, charged spherical shell, divided by R square. So 4 pi cancel, we are getting E outside in terms of sigma is equal to sigma capital R square divided by epsilon 0 R square. So this is the equation for outside electric field in terms of sigma. Here also sigma constant, capital R constant, epsilon 0 constant. So E outside is inversely proportional to square, there is no change. So this equation we employ, so this equation you can mark it as equation number 1. Now we are going to take the case if the point P is on the surface of spherical shell. That is the next case what I am going to discuss. The case 2, if the point P is on the surface. The point P is on the surface of spherical shell, what will be the electric field there? Case 2. So spherical shell is you are having the spherical shell here. And if the point P is coming on the surface, suppose the point P is here on the surface now. So case 2, point P on surface. Point P on surface means small r become capital R. So what happens to equation number 1? Equation number 1 becomes E on surface equal to sigma R square. Small r also you have to change it as capital R square. So R square cancel. So E on surface, we are getting it as sigma by epsilon 0. You can see that it is independent distance, so it is a constant value. It is a constant value and also a maximum value. It is a constant and maximum value. So this is the case 2 when P on surface of the uniformly charged spherical shell. E on surface is a constant and maximum value, it is value sigma by epsilon 0 is a constant value. So now we go for case 3 when the point P is inside. Okay, when the point P is inside, that you have to see. Case 3. Case 3, P inside. When the point P is inside, small r is less than capital R. So you can first design, in this case to find out the point P here, it will be same diagram I am using here, point P will be inside. So point P is here inside, we have to find out electric field at the point inside the uniformly charged spherical shell. So we construct a Gaussian surface. This is the Gaussian surface that is constructed of small r. Small r is the distance of the point P from the center. So point P is inside. First construct Gaussian surface, which is again a concentric spherical shell. Concentric spherical shell we can construct. Now directly with the help of Gauss's theorem, we write how to find out electric field inside. By Gauss's theorem directly, phi is equal to closed integral E dot ds is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 q inside. So what is here q inside? When the point P is inside, what is the charge inside? Can anyone? Can anyone? What is the charge inside?
0.
Why the what is the charge inside is 0? The charge, all charges are distributed over the surface. So an entire charge is on the surface, so total charge inside is equal to 0. That is a very important point. So here q inside is equal to 0. So that is why we are directly taking these equations. Okay, so what will be the value of electric field inside? Writing here on the top, electric field inside. So flux is equal to 0. Area cannot be 0. Gaussian surface का area तो है, so it cannot be 0. Area is not 0. So next option is, so which means that q inside is 0, phi is equal to closed integral E dot ds. This is equal to 0, 1 by epsilon 0 into 0. So closed integral E dot ds is equal to 0. That is, you can write E ds is equal to 0. So ds cannot be 0, it is there as 4 pi r square, which means that electric field inside is equal to 0. It's a very, very important point. electric field inside a spherical shell. Electric field inside a spherical shell is equal to 0. Anywhere, any location you can write. So from the center, what is the electric field at the center of spherical shell? 0. Half where radius? 0. Okay. Inside anywhere electric field is 0 and electric field is there maximum on the surface, outside is inverse square function variation. So these are 3 important points regarding spherical shell. If you are asked to plot a graph, then what will be the shape of the graph in this case? So 3 points we have seen: outside inverse square, on surface constant sigma by epsilon 0, and inside 0 including center. So what is the variation of electric field with a distance for a spherical shell? That is the next page. Variation of electric field with the distance. Okay. So this is the graph R and this is the electric field. The maximum value electric field we have recorded as sigma by epsilon 0. This is on surface. E on surface is maximum, some point marked. And this is origin, we take it as center, and this is equal to capital R, that is on surface. On surface. So from this inside it is 0, electric field is 0, it will be lying like this, electric field is 0. Center may 0 up to surface may 0. As soon as you reach the surface, we are getting a maximum value that is equal to sigma by epsilon 0. And after that, it decreases as inverse square function. E outside is proportional to 1 by r square. So E inside 0, E on surface equal to sigma by epsilon 0, E outside is proportional to 1 by r square. So it's a rectangular hyperbola, outside varying like this. So this is about the spherical shell. Its applications are coming in the next chapters, you have to remember. Now we are going for application number 3 of Gauss's theorem, again very important one. Electric field due to a uniformly charged thin sheet, which you can take it as infinite length, thin sheet of charge. Application number 3, very important one. So application number 3 we are discussing electric field due to thin sheet of charge, thin sheet of charge. Uniformly charged thin sheet, infinity long. Suppose you are given thin sheet of charge that is placed perpendicular to the plane of the paper. So this is your thin sheet. You can give positive charge, sigma surface charge density, charge uniformly distribute over the sheet. The sheet is placed perpendicular to the plane of the paper. Okay, sheet is placed perpendicular to the plane of the paper. Sigma is here greater than 0, uniform surface charge density. So we have to find out electric field at any point, say P, at a perpendicular distance R from it. So it's a positive charge, electric fields at the point P will be directed radially out perpendicular to the sheet, either toward right side. If it is a left side, it's perpendicularly directed outward. Electric field is normal to the sheet. So electric field direction at the point P is marked there. It is directed outward, which is normal to the sheet of charge. So how to find out electric field due to such arrangement? Again we use Gauss's theorem, application number 3. To find out electric field at the point P, you have to do one more thing. Consider another point. You have to consider another point Q on the other side. Say Q on the other side, equal distance, EQ distance from the sheet, same distance R. So P is at a distance R from it, perpendicular distance R, and Q is also at a perpendicular distance R, but it is on the other side. So the distance between the 2 points PQ, so PQ distance is 2R, R plus R, it is 2R. So to find electric field at the point P, first point we have to consider always a constructed Gaussian cylinder is to be constructed. Okay, you have to construct a Gaussian surface. What is a Gaussian surface here? Gaussian surface, for convenience, it will be a cylinder. You can construct a cylinder. Construct a cylinder of length equal to PQ, that is equal to R, and of any area cross section. Area cross section, any you can take 1 centimeter square, 1 millimeter square, but the speciality is that that will pierce through the sheet. Okay, pass through the sheet and go. So we are constructing a Gaussian cylinder here. Gaussian cylinder of any area cross section, and that will penetrate or pass through the sheet. Through the sheet, it pass through an area, same area. Suppose we are taking the area cross section is ds itself. Okay, so pass through this one and reaches here and extending to the point P. So it is a Gaussian surface is cylinder of length is PQ equal to R and of any area cross section that is passing through the sheet, mean penetrating through the sheet and goes the other side. So inside this Gaussian surface you can find out some charge, what I marked here, some charge is present inside. So because of the charge some flux may be there. So next point you have to find out what is, so this surface constructed we call it as Gaussian surface. Next point, what is the total flux through the Gaussian surface? Total flux through Gaussian surface GS phi equal to, we have three phases here. First end phase on right side, second end phase on left side, and third one is your curved surface. Three surfaces we have. So I write here flux through first end phase plus flux through the second end phase plus flux through third curved surface. We are done in the application number 1. Okay. So next point is, so to calculate the flux we have to write E dot ds always. So some point I am writing here on the top. So flux can be calculated, phi is equal to, flux is equal to closed integral E dot ds, that is over the first end phase, plus closed integral E dot ds over the second end phase, plus closed integral E dot ds over the third curved surface. So to find out the flux you should know the directions of E vector and ds vector on each surface. The first end phase is here, E vector is known to here, so ds vector is outward drawn normal like this, ds vector. So E vector and ds vector are parallel on the first phase, theta 0 degree. On left side, what is the direction of electric field and ds vector? This is a positive charge. At the point P, electric field is also radially out. It will be in this direction, positive charge. So toward right and left, it will be radially out. What is the direction of ds vector here? Ds vector is also directed along the outward drawn normal. So on the second end phase also theta equal to 0 degree. Theta equal to 0 degree. And what about the curved surface? Curved surface, here any region you can take it as an area ds and draw outward drawn normal. So ds vector is here. Electric field is normal, it will be going like this. Electric field is normal perpendicular here. So theta equal to 90 degree on the curved surface. So that point you are right here, first end phase theta 0 degree, E vector ds vector parallel, second end phase also theta equal to 0 degree, parallel mein theta is that 90 degree, so on the curved surface. So there is no flux through the curved surface, flux can only pass through the end phases. So continuing here, total flux can be calculated by okay. So here we write this point as total flux is equal to first one end phase closed integral E ds because theta 0 end phase, first end phase, plus second one again closed integral E ds second end phase theta 0, and third one perpendicular, no flux through that. Okay, no flux through that. So phi is equal to E dot ds on the end phase, second end phase, E will be constant because both are equidistant. P and Q are equidistant, so E can be taken outside in both cases. Equidistant, equal value. And closed integral ds is of surface area we have constructed, that is ds itself, and this also ds itself. Total area we are taken as ds itself. So total flux is equal to 2 EDS. So total flux is 2 EDS that we calculated. So by you calculated the flux by calculating E dot ds. Now we can call your Gauss's theorem for help. So we write next point. So here I am removing on the top. So by Gauss's theorem, next point is by Gauss's theorem, flux can also be calculated by Gauss's theorem. Next point. But by Gauss's theorem, flux can also be calculated by 1 by epsilon 0 q inside. Can anyone tell me what is q inside here? That is a very important point. जो जितना shaded portion है इसमें जो charge है that will be equal to इतना region, this much region is ds, and what is the charge inside here? Anyone? Which positive charge is present in? Okay, q inside is sigma ds, so that we have to write here. That is a very important point. So flux is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 into sigma ds. This is your equation number. You can write it as equation number 2, ये वाला first वाला equation number 1, earlier वाला equation number 1, this equation number 2. Completed. Equate equation number 1 and 2, writing here. Equating equation 1 and 2, 1 you calculate the value, second by Gauss's theorem we obtained the value. So equating 1 and 2, so 2 EDS is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 sigma ds. So ds cancel, that is area cross section of the cylinder. You can take any area cross section, no problem. So electric field is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon 0. This is the equation in terms of vector. It will be equal to sigma by 2 epsilon 0. R cap you can put. R cap is a unit vector that gives the direction. If it is a positive charge, sigma is greater than a positive charge, positive 0, greater than 0 positive charge. So at the point P, it will be directed radially out, normal to the sheet. If sigma less than 0, negative charge, then at the point P, it will be normal to the sheet, into the sheet, directed inwards. So equal to sigma by 2 epsilon 0, you can see that this value is independent of the distance. This value is independent of distance. So when we take in the vicinity PQR, what do you say about the electric field at this point PQR? Anyone? Electric field at the point P same as electric field at the point Q, which is same as electric field at the point R, because sigma by 2 epsilon 0 is a constant value independent of distance, and this equation is very important for further development. Further, next application number 4 also we use these equations, and in different cases also. So due to a thin sheet of charge, electric field is governed by equation is, if you have a sheet, okay, thin uniform sheet plus sigma, electric field at the point P sigma by 2 epsilon 0, and directed like this. The value at the point Q and R will be same. There will be no change. On right side, if I say point A, B, C, D on right side, what will be the values of electric field at the point A, B, C, D? Anyone? Jaldi. Sigma upon 2 epsilon. What will be the direction on left side? Electric field is for a positive charge, no, not same. Electric field same at the point A, B, C will be same, but what direction? Toward right or left? So here electric field will be towards left side. For a positive sheet, right side it will be going like this. Okay, normal radially, normal outward, and on left side is also out. Positive charge, electric fields are always going out from positive charge. So right side field toward right side direction, left side electric field direction is toward left side. The value remains same, E sigma by 2 epsilon 0. So it's a very important point. So it's independent of distance. Okay. So next point is application number 4, that is electric field if you are taking two thin sheets of charge. Many times repeated board question. Suppose you have two sheets of charge. Instead of one, we are going to keep two sheets. Application number 4. Two sheets are given to you. For EC calculation, we take them as plus sigma. Okay, it can be plus also, minus also. First one you are having surface charge density sigma, and second one you are having surface charge density sigma 2. Both are greater than 0 mean both are given positive charge. So you have to find out electric field in the different region. So these two sheets divide the entire region into three parts. First region to the left, extreme left, and second region in between, and third region extremely right, okay, to the right. So in this region we have to find out electric field by using this equation sigma by 2 epsilon 0. That will continue tomorrow. So all should join, that means my class, physics class with chemistry, Zoom ID and password. Is it clear to all of you? Yes or no? Okay, bye.